Welcome, viewers, to the Broward County Bar Association's Meet Our Sponsors. In today's episode, we'll be speaking with Gary Singer, president and owner of CASi. Welcome, Gary.
Braulio, good to see you again.
Always good to see you, my friend. And just since we're getting started, tell us a little bit about CASi. What does it do? How does it help attorneys? And tell us what actually CASi stands for also.
Yeah, you bet. CASi is Closing Attorney Support Incorporated. We started the company, we call it CASi affectionately, as do our clients. We started the company originally a few years ago, and we were helping mostly closing attorneys. We were providing back office services, processing services, fill in, courtesy closings. But as time went on, we started getting requests for different areas of real estate law that people needed help with: expert witness, real estate specific mediation, even technology consulting. So we actually grew beyond where we started, which was just to provide support to closing attorneys. And now we service all sorts of attorneys. The difference being CASi is about real estate. So when we're servicing a family lawyer, a personal injury lawyer, we're helping them with their real estate issues in their case, whether it's understanding it from a consulting standpoint, because let's face it, you know me, I'm a board certified real estate lawyer. I know all the real estate stuff with the real property chair and all that, but ask me about family law and I know what I remember from law school. That's not going to be any different from the family lawyer, the business litigator. They may know a little bit here or there. And it's me, it's the other attorneys we work with, we live and breathe and sweat and smell of real estate. We smell of dirt. So we can look at something, and this happens all the time when we're called in, let's say, as an expert witness, and the business attorney who's scratching their head saying, what is with this issue? I don't get it. And we look at it, we know it, because this is what we do day in and day out. So we're bringing everything in light of real estate. If it's a real estate specific mediation, we have a whole panel of experienced real estate lawyers who are also mediators, so you can mediate your real estate law case. If you need an expert witness, we provide the real estate expert witness, lawyer, non-lawyer, typically lawyer, whether it's consulting expert or testifying expert. And of course, we still do our back office support to help other attorneys with their title and closing stuff. But we've really grown a lot since we started closing attorney support. But we call it CASi. So, like you call Siri or Alexa, you call CASi. We're here to help out.
So you kind of alluded to it already, but maybe you could elaborate a little bit more on your background as an attorney and how that helps you with this company helping your clients.
Yeah, you bet. I started out as an attorney working at a real estate firm. I mean, right, literally from the first day I was in a law office, I was put into a closing and I didn't have a clue. Real estate is one of those areas of law that looks simple, but as you dig into it, it gets deeper and deeper and spreads wider and wider. And I find it endlessly interesting. So through the boom, I ran title companies. Through the bust, I did foreclosure litigation and other sorts of litigation. Now I still do both, litigate often, a lot of times pretty heavy title type issues or real estate ownership or transfer issues. But more and more, I had found myself going in the lines of becoming a mediator, an arbitrator for real estate issues, and oftentimes an expert or even a special magistrate. Now, as you know, for a decade now, I've been either the chair or the co-chair for the real property section. So I love this stuff. But I love even more being able to go out and help others understand it. So it occurred to us, again, when we were dealing with this, helping other closing attorneys, that we can bring this experience not just from me, but from other, highly experienced, skilled, well-known real estate attorneys into whether it's a mediation or an expert witness situation. I mean, yeah, I understand it's a niche, just real estate, but that's what we do. That's what our mediators do from, all different firms. They're practicing real estate attorneys or were practicing real estate attorneys. They're going to understand those issues and be able to help out better in those specific issues.
So talking about niche and your unique skills, can you tell us a little bit about any sort of unique case or situation that you had to encounter and how you helped your client?
Yeah, you bet. I mean, one of the things that we do, and we haven't even talked about this, but there's this little area in the law, and we always talk about access to justice. One of the things that always bothered me, you get this purchase money contract. Someone puts down 1,000, a 3,000, or even a $5,000 deposit. There's not a space really where you can hire an attorney, go to mediation, pay the mediator, and have it economically make sense. Lawyers are just can be too expensive. The mediator is going to be expensive. The whole process can really add up. So one of the programs, for example, we develop, we call it our 798 program, because you get the whole mediation, including worksheets that the client can fill out with their attorney. You get explanations for the attorney to give to their client specific to this real estate escrow money dispute. You get an hour of free mediator time, and you get 2 hours. We even have a little applet if they're pro se. Of course, this is the Broward County Bar Association, but if they're pro se, we even have a little applet that will help the participants in the mediation make a standard form real estate release that you use when you're splitting an escrow or deciding who gets an escrow post mediation. We do it all for $798, $399 aside. That was like a niche we saw. This is something we can fill a low cost panel, really, where we're helping out people because the cases are literally too small for the economics of our legal system. So that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is we found ourselves either mediating or often as experts in these multi-million-dollar commercial real estate cases, that are going to go up on appeal. You're giving, expert testimony. You're looking over thousands of pages of title documents or making a call about whether or not, let's say, the title underwriter made a good, within their standard of care, that sort of decision. And we're helping guide the attorney that's litigating it, that maybe hasn't done real estate day in and day out for decades, understand some of these deep, deep concepts. So that's kind of part of what makes it interesting. One day we could be working and just helping people on $1,000 escrow dispute, and another day we can be working as an expert witness dealing with like a multi-million dollar that's definitely going to go to appeal, maybe in federal court, even as an testifying expert. And so it gets pretty exciting, when you make that kind of split. You can help lots of different people.
With that kind of expertise, I would expect that, and I know that you've received a lot of recognition and awards, and I'm sure members of your team. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can certainly, look, I've gotten a few awards, Super Lawyer, Legal Trend, all the normal ones. I've done all sorts of stuff, me from our radio show days, probably. I probably did.
Yeah, I remember.
Uh, yeah, I have a habit of getting into things, but what's just as important is that our panelists, the people that work with us as experts or mediators, are also very well known. We have everything from sitting politicians, a ton of board certified real estate people, names that have been around that you might know. For example, Anita Paoli. Everyone knows Anita. Anita is fantastic. She's a great mediator. She knows real estate like the back of her hand. She's known it 2 decades ago like the back of her hand. She's there as a mediator, for
Yeah.
example, to help out. Boca Mayor Scott Singer is another one on our mediator panel. He's there, great attorney, really knows his stuff, educated, not at Nova. I love Nova where I went, but he went to a different school for much further up north with some vines on the walls. We have some really, really great people that mediate for us. So this isn't a Gary show. I just, get to help with the admin and do things like this, but we have great experts for every situation. We have great mediators and arbitrators for real estate situations of all types, whether it's condo, construction, or just general, commercial or residential real estate. We're there with different people filling the skill sets. I'm amazed, frankly, Brawley, to put it really simply, at the pool, at the bench we have. I don't know if you're watching the Panthers so far this season. They're killing it with new people. It's great. I haven't had this much. I've been a longtime Panther fan. They got a great bench. We got a great bench. Like I'm impressed that the attorneys that we have will work with us. That's how good they are. So, and it's good they're CASi attorneys. So that's good. And we're here again to service other attorneys outside of real estate field and even sometimes in it with our real estate expertise.
So is it your expertise, mediators and attorneys, and or other things that set your firm apart from others?
Yeah, that really is what it is. Look, there's some great mediation firms out there, some of whom are sponsors for the bar, some of whom I've used, I've recommended, and I think are fantastic. Like, there's some really good mediators out there, but there's not that many really good mediators out there with decades of real estate experience to help with real estate law issues. And the same thing goes for experts. Look, there's a lot of dirt lawyers out there, right? But are there dirt lawyers, with the experience and the credentials to go, and the litigation experience specifically, and the transactional experience to go and become either a consulting or testifying expert? And just as importantly, if you're a personal injury attorney, you may know I mean, I work with, through this with a lot of personal injury attorneys on the real estate aspects of dispute. Who do you know? You know the guy across the hall. Well, if you cross the hall from me, that's great. But, you may be across the hall from someone who has no litigation experience, let's say. So now you know somebody to call, CASi, no matter where you are, and we'll find the right expert with the right experience for your case, or the right mediator, from our panels. And that's kind of the point of what we do. So there's these fantastic, for example, expert witness providers. There's these fantastic, really, we're really lucky in South Florida. We have great mediation companies, who I just think the world of, but they're general purpose. We do real estate law. So that's what sets us apart.
So let's segue into industry involvement. Can you tell us a little bit about, your interest, industry involvement, volunteering, advocacy, that sort of thing?
Yeah, you bet. Look, we're dirt lawyers. We're into this stuff. Like, I actually really like it. I teach it sometimes as an adjunct. I got a class coming up. I was, as we mentioned already, real property chair with the Broward County Bar, uh, former president of the Broward Attorneys Real Estate Council, my partner in crime, Andrew Dinnerstein, current president of the Broward Attorneys Real Estate Council. And not only that, we like to get involved with causes. With this COVID thing, it was tough on everything. It was really tough on closings. And one of the things we did when this just happened, we got ourselves a bunch of our attorneys qualified as remote online notaries. Now, not just to simply do a document, but to do a closing. And at that time, you have these real estate attorneys in the industry that have stuff to close, but they don't have the ability to get in front of the person. And you got to jump through a couple of hoops to become a remote online notary. Okay, so we did that. And then we went out, we got ourselves on with a notarized platform, one of only, I think, a couple of hundred places for real estate closings on the notarized platform, which is super simple compared to some of the other options. And we've been able to help other attorneys do literally hundreds of closings through COVID. It was one of the things we did. We did it, frankly, if we broke even money wise on it, because you really can't charge that much to do a notary closing, but we were enabled these other law firms to still do their closings without endangering themselves, especially March, April, May, June, with the unknown of doing an in-person closing. We also went on and we had 3 times a week, and then twice a week, and then once a week, kind of just attorney Zoom sessions where everyone can get on and just talk. So that was one of the things we reached out to, have this community of real estate attorneys, mostly in this case, is who we were working with, that really we can go over problems and solutions on how to face this and make it work for everybody. So, we've been able to, not just myself, but some fantastic attorneys on our panel have been able to really help out the lawyer community through this crisis. And that's a lot of the advocacy we've done. We've also, made some suggestions on how the remote online notary law should be changed to the powers that be. And, from the proposed bill out there, I don't know whether it came from us or someone else, but it looks like someone listened at the very least. Even wrote a letter to the governor about it once upon a time. So, we're advocating for the real estate law issues, and also helping to advocate out to, again, those personal injury attorneys, the family lawyers, the business litigators who just, may just need a question answered. A lot of times that's what happens. I'll get a call and, it's not really a consulting. It's not really a gig. It's just a 20-minute conversation where I'm able to answer, a litigator's, let's say, question and help them move on with their case. And just as a courtesy, not that I'm here giving away free work, mind you, but, we're part of the community. We're all, every one of our, I think just about every one of our panelists are heavy volunteers. So, we're out there and we believe in it.
So I know 9 years at the bars, and I know you're committed to helping people because you've been our chair or co-chair for all that time. So I know you are passionate about helping people. Hey, everyone wants to make a dollar too. You know, if you got to do an honest day's work, you do it. But I know that you give of yourself freely. So I appreciate that.
No, I'm
Um,
happy to do it.
Talking about passion, can you, on a personal, talk a little bit about maybe some of your personal things that you're passionate about doing, and maybe how that reflects in your work and in your company, CASi?
You know, sometimes I think maybe I should have been a civil rights attorney. I love that stuff. So yeah, I don't practice in that area. There's people who do that, and bless them. I'm a real estate lawyer, but I like to follow that stuff and read about it. I just think it's interesting. I think as attorneys, we're a part of the machine of society, and we're here to make sure people do have that access to justice, to make sure people do get justice and proper representation, and frankly sometimes just don't get screwed. Let's be blunt. So whenever we can do education, whenever I can do education, whenever I can speak at a seminar or a CLE, I love that stuff. I also love playing with my teenagers. They're just, one of them is almost a teenager, my 12 and my 14-year-old. So I love hanging out with them. They're incredible. My wife, they're so much fun. So family time has always been one of my big passions. um, I like to golf, like a lot of attorneys. That's a lot of fun. I love the Panthers, so that's cool. But really, I'm a lawyer. I, like, even in my off time, I read on this stuff. That I really enjoy uh, the law and the way it works, and I just think it's endlessly interesting. And you know, look, to get a job, to get a career where you can get paid well to help people, what could be better? That's the way I look at it. So I wake up every day and I say my little affirmation, and I really do, thank goodness that, I'm blessed enough to be in this career and be able to help my fellow attorneys when I can, be able to help clients when I can, be a zealous advocate when I have to be for my clients, and that, I'm able to fulfill this, what I feel is a very needed role in society. Look, probably this better than anyone. Half the lawyers don't dig being lawyers. It's hard, it's stressful, you're dealing with sometimes difficult people, whether you're doing transactions or litigation. Sometimes the other attorney can be difficult as they're zealously advocating, but there's a lot of us out there who really just love what we do every day, and are happy to wake up and look forward to Mondays so we can go in and really help our clients or help our fellow attorneys to make the wrongs righted, whether it's economic or otherwise.
Look, Gary, like I said, I've known you a long time now, and it's the cream of the crop at the Broward County Bar. Leadership, people to get involved and engage. It's the best that we have in our county, and you're one of them. So I appreciate your engagement
Oh,
at the
thank you.
bar. Uh, with
Appreciate
that, my friend, is there anything else you'd like to let our audience know about yourself or CASi?
Yeah, no, what I'd really, the message and the reason why we became a sponsor, besides the fact that we had enough money to be able to sponsor the Broward Bar, we had to build the company up to that point. But the reason I wanted to do was get the word out to attorneys. Look, in the real estate field, a lot of people know me, and a lot of people know the attorneys on my panel. But outside of the real estate field, maybe not so much. Look, maybe they see me in the newspaper every Monday with my column in the Sun Sentinel, and that's, they know me from there, from my picture. But they don't really know. So I wanted to get the word out about CASi. I wanted to let real estate attorneys who don't know me, the few, I got a big mouth, so a lot of people know me. But also the non-real estate attorneys, the family lawyers, the business litigators, the PI attorneys, and whoever it may be. When they have a real estate issue, they now have someone to call. They can call me, they can call one of the panelists, they can call anyone involved with CASi, they can call CASi and get, someone to talk to who knows about real estate because they breathe it and they live it. And that's the message I want to get out. Like, you have someone, a real estate expert, I'm board certified. I can say I'm an expert. You have a real estate expert to call, but it's not just me. It's our whole group, panelists and employees and whatnot that are here to help, when you have a real estate law issue. So call CASi. We're happy to talk to you, 954-851-1448. I don't know if I was supposed to give out my phone number,
Yeah,
but
please do, as well as your website. Please, please.
Yeah, no, thank you. 954-851-1448. You can give us a call. We actually have other offerings besides what we spoke about here where we can help people. We're very focused on real estate, but it's a lot of little pieces we do. And you can check us out at closingattorneysupport.com, closingattorneysupport.com. If you want to jump right to our mediation and arbitration page, you can go to realadr.com. That jumps you right to a little bit of information about our panel. A little bit. It's a little outdated. We're actually having it's being redone right now, but it's still a pretty good website. But we're growing, so it needs to grow too. But we'd love to have you again, 954-851-1448. Or of course, you can always email me. You can get me, Gary at closingattorneysupport.com, or even at my law firm, Gary at GarySingerLaw.com. And I'm always happy to take time to talk to you, even if just for a few minutes you have a quick question. But there's those of you who maybe will watch this, will go, oh, yeah, I can call Gary and he answered my question. We had a nice chat. I'm always happy to talk to attorneys because, well, frankly, I like talking to attorneys. Well, most of them, not all of them. There's a couple out there. Though I'd still talk. So you know what? It's really funny, but one of the attorneys on our panel, we had a very contentious litigation against each other. We were on opposing sides, and it was, a state professional, great attorney, Mark. His name is Mark Kushner. Great attorney, but he was a zealous advocate. And we butted heads in court for a couple of years on a case. And now, he'll do mediations with us. He's a great real estate attorney. And the case was over. We were both pros, and we ended up being friends afterwards, which was really kind of cool. And it's not the first and it won't be the last time that's happened either. So even those tough ones, once we get past the case, we can still be friends.
Excellent. Well, Gary, thank you for spending time with me. It's been
Thank you, Brawley.
enjoyable, my friend. Thank
We
you for
appreciate all
educating.
you do, Brawley. You've been amazing through this pandemic. I got to tell
Uh,
you.
I
Uh,
just try. I surround myself with great folks like you that make it easy for me.
well, there
So
you go.
I appreciate it, my friend. Yeah, no, surround yourself with smart people and you get things done. I want to thank our viewers for being with us. And seriously, if you all things real estate, reach out to Gary. If he can't help you, I don't know who can.
One of our
Wonderful
panelists.
guy. Say again, say again.
If I can't help you, one of our panelists
Yeah,
can.
exactly. One of your panelists. So, all right, my friend, be safe, take care.
Thank you, Brawley. Great seeing you.
Great seeing.